Welcome to Ask the Expert. I'm Ted Craig, editor-in-chief of Restoration Remediation Magazine. Joining me today is Jessica Wicks, president of Ductz, a provider of duct cleaning, HVAC restoration, and other services. Jessica is the new president of Ductz, and she is also the first female president of Ductz. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it. Yes, it's an exciting time. First female president, so that gets a lot of attention just in this industry in itself. So we're very excited to grow this, to grow Ductz. Ductz is a franchise. We provide, like Ted said, air duct cleaning, coil cleaning, dryer vent cleaning, HVAC restoration, which we're going to see grow exponentially this next year or two. And so right now we have about 50 franchisees across the country with about 74 locations. So many of those franchisees have multiple territories. We have a few with multiple stores. And so what we do at the Ductz home office, and what I do as president with the rest of my support staff, is we, of course, sell the franchises. We train them, we support them, and we continue to keep them engaged with everything from marketing to software that allows them to run their entire business. We even have a bidding software which allows us to go out commercial bids, and we count all the air handlers, we count the ductwork, we count all the components and put it into a bidding software, and it spits out the number, spits out the man hours, spits out the materials that we'll need for the project as well. So we're the only ones in the country who have a software such as that one. We train on restoration because we're owned by Belfor as our parent company. We have all of the resources that Belfor is able to lend as well. So Xactimate pricing, we partner with Belfor and with our sister brands. We have 11 brands currently under the Belfor franchise group umbrella, and we all work together on large projects, especially restoration projects after a loss, hurricane, flood, fire. So it's an amazing time to be in this industry. It's every day is a new day. Let's just say it that way.
And what is your background? How did you come to be part of the company, and how did you rise to be president?
So my dad actually owns a large Carrier dealership here in Ann Arbor. So he was the first technician for a blended heating and refrigeration company. So I've been kind of ingrained and raised in heating and cooling my entire life. So you can imagine that when he needed a file girl or a dispatcher or a sales assistant, he called me. So, hey, we need you to come to the office, count some parts and help us rearrange the warehouse, whatever it was. And so I spent a good part of my time in high school, college, and after working for his heating and cooling company. And then I got my business degree, my marketing degree, and there was an opening at Belfor Franchise Group. And I put my application in online and received a phone call like 3 minutes later because I didn't know it was Ductz. I just saw Belfor Franchise Group, and we had partnered with Ductz had partnered with my father's heating and air conditioning company for some time. So he was very familiar with my dad and his partners and his technicians. They had all been in this building, and so he called me, John Rachi called me right away, and I started as a marketing coordinator and then went to a business coach. And then most recently, just the end of June, was promoted to president.
Great. Okay. So that's quite the, honor to be promoted up to president. You said that you expect your HVAC restoration business to grow exponentially in the next year. Why is that?
There are some new standards that are coming out that we anticipate in the next year or two that will include HVAC restoration, and in considering the air conveyance systems, the duct work all as part of the building as opposed to just a separate part. As well, we're seeing that because of the supply chain and because of things being so difficult to source right now, if there is a loss, the insurance companies and the restoration companies are opting to call in a company like Ductz to restore the HVAC units rather than replace them. A couple of different things. One, it's more cost efficient. Two, you don't have to deal with the supply chain. We can restore the ductwork, restore the coil, restore the blower, and all those components, the registers and all, instead of having to source them and wait. And then one of the biggest reasons too that makes it most appealing is that all of this, the ductwork and the air handlers don't end up in a landfill. So it's better for the environment as well.
Like many women in the trade, in a different trade, whether it be air conditioning or restoration, you were sort of born into the business. What do you see as the way to attract more women into these fields, where there are plenty of opportunities and definitely need for plenty of employees?
Absolutely. It's a great time, to be honest. There aren't a lot of us in this industry, but those women who are in the industry see it as once you're in and ingrained and engaged, there's so much room for movement. There's a lot of opportunity to have different schedules, to have open schedules, to move about. Should you want to relocate, there are opportunities all across the country, all across the world, really. And so all of those opportunities are open, and they're appealing to women who are contributing, of course, to the household and most often managing most of the household. So we see that this industry, as well as other service industries, are very, very appealing to women. We have several female owners, franchise owners across our network, and they do great. The customers love them. They come to the house and they do the bids, or they speak to them on the phone. They love the fact that the women communicate really well, that they're transparent, they're honest, they don't they're appealing to work with. And when you have a woman who's been kind of raised in this industry, it hardens us a little bit, and it makes us more honest and more real. So we're seeing more and more women in this industry for sure.
Great. Now, there's been an increased awareness about IAQ since the pandemic started. Does that help your business?
Oh, absolutely. So lots of assessments, especially on the school side. The schools were asked to increase their ventilation, increase their air changes per hour. They were asked to create maintenance plans. So HVAC and indoor air quality maintenance plans, so we assist with those. As well, they were asked to go through and increase the filtration to MERV 13. So looking at most of these units where components are missing, components aren't working, that the filters are still at a MERV 8, to come in and set a priority list and a maintenance plan for each school is what they're doing now if they didn't do it last year. So lots of work there, lots of opportunity as well with the buildings that were closed down. All of our workers are working from home. Why have this building open? And they turned the HVAC units off. And when they did that, all the buildings got to a higher than ideal relative humidity level, and now there's suspect microbial growth and things aren't operational. The coils are impacted, the drain pan's plugged up. So we're going in and doing full assessments. We provide before and after photo reports on every project. So you can see exactly what we've done. That's what all the Ductz offices do. And so we're doing those assessments, photo reports, estimates, and then being awarded the project because we're trained to prioritize all the buildings and all the different systems in the building, which one needs most attention first, and to focus on those high priority zones.
Given the increased demand, like we said, for HVAC restoration and for IAQ, there are obviously opportunities, and you're growing your franchisees, I assume, still. What are the opportunities for people who are interested in joining the Ducks? And by the way, it's with the Z, folks. Family of franchises. Yep.
Perfect. We have several prime markets available, really, really incredible markets. And we have a full support staff, full support from technical to business to marketing to legal to accounting, IT. We have just the whole gamut. What we like to say in franchising, it's like a business in a box. So you buy this business, and all those resources and tools are not only available for you, but they're already established. By the time that we go through training, we go through a technical training and a business training. By the time that new franchisee leaves Ann Arbor, Michigan, in their totally outfitted truck, they're ready to hit the road. The phone's actually already ringing. We have a digital marketing campaign to kickstart their business. It's a great thing. Franchising is wonderful, right? We call it that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself, because you have this full support system.
Now, what is your typical franchisee like? Is it a HVAC contractor who is looking to add a new business line, or is it an entrepreneur just looking for a new opportunity, or both?
Typically, we have a little bit of both, but typically our ideal franchisee is someone with a sales background, not typically technical, might have some technical aptitude. Most of our franchisees come from a white collar background. They're looking for a next step in their career and something that they can grow. And for some folks, something that they can scale, so they can scale it to a certain level. And we work with them. Each franchisee has a business coach. So the coaches work with the franchisee that when we see that they get to a certain level and we want to grow, what are we going to do? So with that, we do find that our ideal candidate has a little bit of business background, not afraid to get dirty, and pretty quickly out of the gate, they add a lead technician and a helping technician, and then our franchisee is focused on the business, focused on going out and making friends in his community and building his referral network, or her referral network, right?
Right. Either one.
Yes.
Okay. Where are you seeing the most demand from now? You talked about natural disasters. Where's most of the demand coming from these days?
There's, of course, a high demand with after an event, after a tornado, flood, fire, but also where there have been forest fires,
Right.
where you're seeing in Arizona the dust storms and things like that. But we're also seeing a focus on where there's been an issue, specifically at maybe a large building or a school district, where the PR has just hit the fan. And so people become more concerned at home and in the businesses that they're working in as well. And like you said, with IEQ awareness at this heightened level, people are looking up. They're paying attention to when they've changed their filters, what's in their filter, and what does the rest of my system look like, and what am I breathing? So seeing a huge push with parents who are concerned, and seeing that volume, that call volume, where there's been an impact of some sort. So.
Okay. It's almost as if dust is the new mold, it sounds like, in a sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What about some of the other, like the vent cleaning and things like that? Are those more of, marginal add-on services, or how big does that play in your business for your typical franchisee? I imagine duct cleaning's first.
Oh, duct cleaning is always first and foremost, as is HVAC restoration. Dryer vent cleaning is a close third behind HVAC restoration, simply because it's a service that you should have done annually on a residential level, more so in a commercial level, if it's a commercial dryer or laundromat, if it's an apartment complex with multiple units using the same laundry service. Universities have been huge for us lately, as are nursing homes. And so when they build these accounts, they find that they need a dedicated truck and a dedicated team just for the dryer vent cleaning. So it becomes its own core service with its own book of customers. So it could be a standalone business. In many cases, in other franchises, it is a standalone business. So it's a great concept, because almost all homes have dryers, washers and dryers, or there's a multi-unit complex nearby that they're all using, and so all of those dryer vents need to be cleaned.
So it's a good source of recurring revenue if it has to be done at least once a year um, by the customer. Okay, great. Oh, okay. So what are your goals now for the rest of the year and going into next year?
Well, growth is always the focus for a franchise, right? So we want to grow our current store sales as well as add new stores. So right now our focus is on those prime markets to hopefully hit technicians in the HVAC field or currently in the duct cleaning field who would like to have their own business. And franchising is a great way to do that. Like I said, you have this full support system behind you, and it's already, the cornerstones are there for you to build your business. So that's always our goal. Our other goals are our national accounts, increasing our national accounts throughout the country and into Canada. We'd like to see more of a footprint in Canada. We're working to do that with one of our sister brands. We have a large restoration brand in Canada, so working with them. There's a lot of movement right now, and waiting for these standards to come out too. We have several of our folks on the Ductz home office staff who sit on the boards for IICRC and for NADCA, and for sake of that, we have a lot of resources being spent to make sure that those standards are written properly and include what services not only we provide, but what our customers should be expecting. When their house is fully restored, you want to make sure too that the HVAC unit has been assessed, and it most often needs to be restored or cleaned.
Hiring is probably a challenge, like for you, like it's for everyone. How does that affect your growth plans?
The growth plans, as far as the franchise support team goes, we're a relatively focused, smaller team. We do have shared support staff when it comes to the marketing and accounting and legal and IT. But for the franchisees, it's absolutely been a challenge in their own market. So they're doing creative things. So there are some creative options that they've taken on, and one of those is looking outside of that full-time position. And for a lot of folks, they don't want a full-time position. They want something with a little more, just a little more openness to it, that they can maybe get the kids off the bus and then work at night, that they can work half days or partial days or even on weekends. So offering the full-time position and then the part-time position has been very helpful. We always try to reach out to those around our good technicians to see if they would be interested. And then we have some great ways that they can market rather than just saying we need a duct cleaning technician. They say maintenance technician. And so just being creative with simply the title of the job has been effective as well. But we're seeing far more applicants just this past month than we've seen in 2.5 years.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, if you answered all of my questions, is there anything you would like to add?
No, you did a really good job. I was, I was waiting for the zinger, and you never gave me the zinger. So,
Well, now I feel like I didn't do a good job. All right.
I know. You have to do better, Ted.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get that 60 minutes question going, right? The
Yes, exactly. Have a seat.
one that makes you walk off camera. All right.
Exactly. No, don't do that to me.
Yeah. Great. Well, Jessica, well, congratulations again on your new position, and good luck going forward.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate
All right.
it. Appreciate the opportunity.